Welcome, everybody. What's up, Beth? Look at that. She's already in. She's like, Huzzah. Neeners.
What up?
What's up?
I don't know how my
Long time.
lighting's going to be. I have my big picture window all caved up because it's too hot.
Long time no see.
I know.
What's up, Alexa? All right, where's John? Hey, well. You just saw me the other day. What's up, Bree-tector? Hey, I saw some
Bree and
pretty neat stuff you got going on there with the
Tiffany.
Subterrix crew. BreeCon, I love it. Where's Mr. John? What's up, Detective New York City, Meryl? Stand by 1 minute.
Detecting New York.
We're not getting
Mr.
John
Mike?
tonight? Oh, right. That's fine. We got some stuff to do then. We got
Hey, Kimber and Lorinda.
Meryl and bam.
What's up, Doug?
Hello, Meryl.
Hey, what's up, guys? How are you?
Good. How are you?
Hello.
Hey, good. It's been a minute since I've been on TikTok, so I'm just trying to figure out how to get the camera going and all that.
If you select your section of your screen there, it should pop up with the camera.
I see the camera icon down here.
Yep, turn it on and then hit save.
Whoa, it's me.
It's you.
What's up?
Hello.
Hi. Let me put my camera down. There we go.
I think I don't know what happened with Ryan. I sent him an invite.
I could definitely talk about it. Ryan is a very, show. Yeah, I mean, he knows the platform so cold, as do I. But right now, it's really a computer platform, and we have big plans with apps. But you know how apps are. Apps are kind of like the very simplified versions of things. And Subterrix is easy to use, but simplified. I mean, it's a universe within the program. So
Right.
that's the struggle with this. And, TikTok, we've both been, although I really have not uploaded to it, who doesn't watch TikTok? But, the format for this is usually up and down. And when we have it on, when we have a system that's built for computer screens,
Right.
we're breaking new ground tonight. So thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
I've been so excited about this pretty much since I talked to Ryan months and months and months ago. And I remember I brought it up to John, and I believe I did with you too, Beth, when we were on the trip to Pennsylvania. And they're like, "Oh man, you've got to get Meryl and Ryan on the show. Like we want to talk to Meryl."
Always honored to hear that.
Absolutely.
I hope I don't disappoint.
No, not at all. So I told Ryan the other day that what I'm looking for is tonight. What we'll do is we'll talk about Subterrix and stuff, and then we're going to want to talk about you guys. We're going to want to let the viewers get to know who you guys are as detectorists. Some of your guys' accomplishments and stuff. It gets that feeling of like, hey, I know Meryl, or hey, I know Ryan,
Sure.
So that's what I'm excited about. Hold on 1 second. Can one of the mods go ahead and change the layout? I think that's why Ryan can't get in. It's not allowing him. It won't let me. It won't let me change the grid layout for. There we go. I'm gonna try to invite him again. There we go. But yeah, it's awesome. Ryan sends me pictures and stuff of some of the stuff you guys have been finding out there, and it's like it's mind blowing.
Yeah,
Can you
it's
guys
something
hear me?
that's not just theory. It's something that is very, very useful and very workable right now. And it looks like Ryan's coming in.
Heck yeah.
And yeah, I'm very proud to be a part of it. Hey, Ryan, you here?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we
Yep.
Yeah, can you hear
can.
me okay?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. I started getting nervous that Meryl was going to steal all my thunder, but I somehow managed my way to squeeze in.
That was the plan, Ryan, but now you're here.
Meryl, there's not a day that exists where you can't easily outshine me in anything. So, in all seriousness, happy to be here and thanks for the invite. Meryl is my goat. Seriously.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
happy to be here.
Yeah, man.
Do you remember? Do you remember how to do to turn your camera on, buddy?
I thought I had my camera on.
Nope.
There's a button at the
Hiding
bottom.
from us still.
I'm literally looking at myself. No. Hold on.
It
It
is
says
Neil. I need to get a haircut.
Well, the truth just came out. Ryan is really a robot, and his form is a circle with the Subterrix logo.
That's so weird. I can see myself. You guys can't. You guys
You gotta
can't see
hit
me.
save. You gotta hit save.
I did hit save.
Oh,
Hang on.
I know
Save.
you're trying to get on with the mod, so that you can share your screen on the computer. Yeah.
That's so weird. I see myself in
about
the
us?
little. Yeah, I can see you guys too. And it says that camera's being shared, and it doesn't have an X next to the camera. I can shut it off now. So now I just see the Subterrix logo, but then I can turn it on and click save, and now I see myself again. That's very strange.
Ryan, you got like
That
the
is
Kubrick
strange.
movie going on right now. You know, the HAL computer, like that. That's how you're presenting yourself right now. But it's all good. We'll
Well,
get
Meryl,
there.
you're better looking than me anyway, so I'm happy to just be I'm
Debatable.
happy to be
Highly
the voice.
Glad my wife likes me,
You
so.
guys just see the Subterrix logo? Is that all you're
yeah.
seeing?
Go ahead.
Oh, that's
Go ahead and
so-
pop out real quick, and then come back in.
Okay. All right.
I see some familiar names in here.
Yeah, there's a big following in here that like watching you guys.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's a great platform. I just have like this other channel. I haven't been on Metal Detecting NYC TikTok in a while, but I just had another channel on my phone. It took me a minute to get Metal Detecting NYC back, and yeah, maybe I'll upload again. It's been a minute, but I know short format is incredibly important these days.
There you are.
Oh, so now you see me. All right. So something that you must have done, Andrew.
I guess
Thank
so.
you.
I don't know
No,
what
I mean
did,
in a
but it
good.
worked.
I mean in a good way. Yes. Thank you. It's good to see you guys. Even though I saw you before.
Yeah, just recently.
Yeah. No worries. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being here.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
It's been a long time coming. You know, we've been talking about doing this for back when I first talked to you. So I'm super excited to finally get you in here, and it's nice too because some of the following on TikTok has gotten to watch you guys now on YouTube, and some of the other creators' shows and stuff. So, like I was telling Meryl, it's gonna be nice because we're gonna get to kind of meet your guys' personal sides and also talk about the platform. I know you guys just came out with an amazing new tool on Subterrix with one of our amazing people that are a part of the show and how it operates. So I'm super excited for her.
Yeah.
I saw that this morning.
Yeah, that collaboration was a lot of fun. I had always enjoyed watching Bree's videos, and virtually anywhere I go, she's either kind enough in helping, the host. She's always sending in thoughtful suggestions as to how we might be able to improve things. And I did an interview about an hour ago, and one of the things that I had told the person was a promise that I made to myself, and I made kind of Merrill swear up and down to do, is no matter how successful this becomes and no matter how big it or fast it grows, that we always need to be accessible. We cannot profess to ever to have all the answers, all the ideas, or all the fixes. And now we have about 14 or 15 tools on the platform. At least 3 of them that we've launched that are super successful have come directly from users of Subterrix saying, hey, I've got a really good idea. I'm a door knocker, and there's really no tool out there for me to analyze the age of the houses, the location of the houses, how to plan my route, how to get conversation starters going, or hey, you know what? I'm a beach detectorist, and I'd love to metal detect and learn more about shipwrecks that have the chance of having stuff make its way to the shoreline. So we created Fathom. So I think we have 3 or 4 tools now out of our entire set that really spawned from our most precious asset, which isn't the brand, it's the users. There are research and development, sections. So that's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's definitely amazing, and it's always fun too. Is like, getting a message from you or something. You're like, dude, go check this out, or you drop me a promo video, and it's like, oh my goodness gracious, like these guys just do not quit.
Yeah, so I'm thankful and apologetic for that, Andrew, just based on the facts that I always get so excited when we're coming out with something, and there's maybe 5 or 10 people that I feel comfortable enough to tell me, hey, this absolutely sucks if it does. You happen to be in that camp, and I'm grateful for obviously the insight and the help that you've given in kind of driving the business in the direction that it's gone. So there's been a lot of late night texts, and I'm sure a lot of annoyances of me being in your inbox, but I'm grateful for it. Believe me.
I love it. It's it feels good to be able to help you guys out, and then not only that is in turn that helps the community. So it's I've always been a firm believer of if you can't be real with somebody, you can't be honest with somebody, then there's no sense of trying to communicate with them. So that's true. That's how I've always lived with that. So yeah, it's crazy.
That's funny. I always for those of you that don't know Merrill personally, right? Merrill is about the best human being that walks on the face of the planet. Not only is he a friend, but he's a mentor to me in more than just detecting. And I'm always having to tell Merrill, because he's always gracious with his words and so kind, even when I come up with these harebrained schemes. Merrill, stop BSing me. Like, it's okay if you tell me that you absolutely hate this feature or this idea. So I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah. No, I'll acknowledge that. And in fact, it's the same thing that my parole officer said. He said, for the first time in a long time, you're making progress, and it must be this Subterrix thing that's helping you. So thank you for that, Ryan.
I haven't had a chance to meet the parole officer yet, Merrill, but I hope he's a nice guy.
He metal detects.
Oh, does he?
What a coincidence.
We were both jaywalkers, and they threw me, in jail for that. And, those days are in the past, crossing the street in the middle of the road. And, I'm proud to say those days are behind me. But he says I'm doing better, and he attributes it to Subterrix.
Oh, that's good. It's interesting that Merrill says that, because every time I'm doing a ground balance and we're detecting together, when I get around Merrill's ankle, right, for some reason that's going off. That must be his tracer that he's got on his ankle.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
It rings up in the high 80s, and you think it's silver or copper, and yeah. It's from a copper instead of a copper. Yeah.
Yeah. I always think it's a large cent, but it's just Merrill's ankle. Yep. So that's funny.
Goodness.
Merrill, you're down in Florida now. Are you? Have you done any detecting yet?
Yeah, I have. I got sick for the past few days. I don't know what it was, but tonight I'm going out. I am going out, and I'm hitting the beaches with my headlamp. That is I can't put into words how much I enjoy that. Like when there's a full beach, I don't want to like get in the middle of like people and their families. There's a lot of people that do, but and I'll do that occasionally. But there's nothing more peaceful than night beach detecting. I will do it in any borough at any time. Everybody's like, "Are you nuts?" In New York City, but down here it's no problem, and it's it's a lot of fun to do. So yeah, I'm heading out right after this.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
I could definitely
Somehow
see that.
Get into,
Say
sorry.
that.
No, go ahead, buddy.
Did you freeze?
No, I don't know who was talking.
Ryan.
No, go ahead, Ryan.
Thank you, Braxton.
No. I have a sneaking suspicion that around 9 o'clock at night, I'm going to end up getting a picture of some type of silver, a ring. Merrill is the king of rings. For those of you that haven't seen, there's an image.
Oh,
See, he's a robot. His speech breaks up.
yeah.
He's a mess. Oh, my speech is no good?
Well,
Yeah, you keep lagging.
Keep lagging. But you're a robot, so you're the Ryan bot.
It's the Rybot.
The Rybot, yeah.
The Rybot.
We'll get you back, Rybot. So yeah, the night trips are. I love the night trips. It's not great for video, but that's okay. That's okay. I've learned to just let it be fun. You don't have to capture everything in video. That's very important.
Better?
Yes. Ish.
Hang on, guys.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that being on the beach, especially during summer. We're talking summer vacation now, so people are out and about. It's got to be loaded. Oh, yeah. It does not help trying to be down there metal detecting during the day. There's just so many people. So get out there at night and find what everybody during the day lost.
Yeah,
that's right.
Absolutely. I do it for the fish, and they don't like rings, So I and coins, I just, especially the underground sand, creatures. I do that for them, and I'm making this up as I go along, and I stop coin and ring pollution. There we go. That's my duty to the world.
That's funny. So you guys can hear me okay now? I disconnected my my headset. Okay, yeah. And for some reason, I'm in the thrones of my wife's home office because my daughter has friends over. And if I was in my home office, you'd probably see a bunch of 17-year-old kids running around like maniacs. They're just now before going to college, so they're all they're just running wild here. So, Andrew, a little bit earlier, you had said as we were chatting before this came up that you wanted us to maybe give a story or two about detecting.
Absolutely.
And as I was so it's not a very long story at all, but it is a very funny one. So I have a very good friend of mine. Merrill's detected with him a number of times now when he's come to my neck of the woods. Merrill and I are about an hour away from one another. On a good day, right? Merrill lives in Long Island. I live on the other island in New York called Staten Island. So we're only about 28, 30 miles apart. But if there's no traffic, it's about 45 minutes to an hour. If there is traffic, Merrill, it could be 3 hours to get from you to me, right?
The reason they call it Long Island. It's a long island.
It's a long amount of traffic, but so the Merrill couldn't make it one day, and I ended up going out with my buddy Nick. I don't know if Nick is making it on here tonight.
Thank you.
And oh, cool. Nick is the kind of guy where like either everything goes right for him or everything goes terribly wrong. Sometimes he'll end up pulling, I don't know, Walking Liberty and 3 Mercury dimes and having a really successful day, and sometimes He can't get his headset to work, and he's an absolute mess. So about a week ago, we were out detecting, and I ended up finding, in my opinion, one of the best buckles
That's nice.
I've ever found. And this is, believe it or not, there's a wooded area right by my house in front of Target, of all places, that had this lying around. Clearly, my machine was screaming bloody murder. I pulled it out and was just absolutely floored. It was about 15 feet away from a very, very busy street, very successful. And my friend Nick at the time wasn't having any luck whatsoever. We had been out for about a couple hours. Long story short, he ends up about 10 feet away from where I pulled this. He ends up getting a really screaming signal. I use an Equinox 900, and yes, now I use a Deus 2, courtesy of the fact that I've got the best coach in the world to help me figure it out. And it is everything that Merrill claims it to be. My friend Nick has a Manicore, and he's screaming for me, Ryan, come on over here. I've got something really good in the ground. So finally, I'm just very happy for him because he's just having a crummy day. He ends up putting his blade in the ground and pulls it out, and he looks at what he pulled out, which I thought initially also was a buckle, but it wasn't. And you couldn't make this up.
Wow.
What does that say?
That's
I see what that says.
It was probably about the funniest thing that I've ever seen anyone pull out of the ground. And it was just so apropos for my friend Nick, who's just he's just got the world's dumbest or worst luck sometimes. But it was a good chuckle. That's for sure.
That's awesome. See,
really funny.
That's some of the stuff that, you're just, over time, you end up like, if you don't share that story, you end up forgetting it, or it didn't seem relevant because you let the moment get clouded by whatever you may have found, and that's what it's all about, right? It's the memories we've made, the friends we've made, and the adventures we get to go on, and then we get to share the story with everybody else, because that's what makes it fun.
Yeah, that's a good story.
he was going to toss it. I insisted that he give it to me, and my kids for the last couple weeks have been wondering why in a coin holder stand is there an arrow with FU on it. It's on my shelf. That means more to me than the actual buckle, just because it was a very good chuckle amongst two guys who didn't know each other from Adam before starting to dig together, and he's become one of my absolute closest friends. So every time I see it, every single day, it's just a good. It's always good for a quick laugh.
Yeah, absolutely. Ryan, real quick, how long have you been detecting for?
Seriously, I've been detecting for about 4 years. It started off when I was about 9. My dad took me to Radio Shack, and what's that?
Nothing.
Started when I was about 9. My dad took me to Radio Shack and bought me a completely useless metal detector. I since recently found it on eBay and bought it, and it's not the same one, of course, but the same model, and it works. It works. Oh, that's weird.
We made you big.
Oh, okay. It works awesome. It still works. And then, as a 9-year-old, you start, into sports and girls. So I dropped it. And then every decade since then, 19, 29, 39, I always said to myself about every decade, it'd be really great to get back into metal detecting again. And I'll be 47 in August. And when I turn just about 44 or 43, I said to myself, I can pretty much buy anything I want now, and I'm really going to start getting into it. And that's, quite frankly, where I first saw Merrill. I wasn't sure what detector I wanted to buy. And Merrill, for years, had been running irate metal detectors, and, has done an incredible job not just buying, but testing
all of the, the leading detectors out there. And then I just got hooked on watching his videos along with him and Mark Dayton, AKA, Brass Medic, and, others like Brad Martin of Green Mountain. And, I just became instantly hooked and, somehow crazy enough to start this technology company associated with one of the best passions in my life in metal detecting. And I'm kind of pissed that I started so late.
I hear you there.
But it was kind of a blessing in disguise. I actually wrote an article about a year ago, and the article's title was "Why I Needed to Get Lost in Order to Get Found." And it was really just about, I run a publicly traded company for my day job, and it's incredibly stressful and time consuming. And my release and my kind of zen is soldiering up and kind of going out, looking like an army sniper and going in the middle of the woods. Merrill's a beach guy. I'm a woods guy, and just turning on my detector and letting every single fear, every piece of anxiety, every single thing just kind of fall by the wayside, and just going out and enjoying myself. And of course, being bit by snakes and bugs and poison, touched by poison ivy. But it's my favorite thing in the world.
Absolutely. It's, and that's amazing is, like you said, as having a stressful job, and to be able to have an outlet some way, shape or form is huge, right? We all have to have that outlet in whatever way, shape or form that may be. But I 100% agree with you. There's no better thing than freaking getting out there and going playing with your metal detector. And like you said, make every signal fear you, because you're going to pull it out of the ground.
Yeah.
You go out there with one thing in mind, and that's I'm destroying the dirt looking for what I'm looking for, and that's what's awesome. Where is Rocky? Did we block him? No, we didn't block him. I'm not sure where he is. I don't know if he's just lurking or what.
He had to work late tonight.
Oh, okay. Sure, figures.
I can tell you guys for sure that the dirt doesn't fear me, but it does fear Merrill. The last time I went out with Merrill, it was with my friend Nick and someone that has probably done more for me than anybody in the entire metal detecting community. That's actually the president of my metal detecting club, which is the only metal detecting club in New York that's a nonprofit. It's called Staten Island History Hunters. And when I tell you that we were out there for like 5 hours and coming up with literally nothing burger, I ended up catching up with Merrill a few hours later, and he's got belt buckles, he's got rings, he's got coins. No one found anything the entire day. And somehow Merrill ends up coming out with a fistful of treasures.
Mike had a good day too. I stuck around where he got that first silver, and I really didn't move from that spot. I have this thing about like the dirt. Like I was hearing iron in this dirt. Like you can hear modern dirt. Like you can hear when it has been altered. There is a difference in sound, and I'm hearing these deep signals. I'm hearing these shallow signals. I'm hearing different kinds of iron. And it's part of the stuff that I think the Deus too like really tunes you into. And when you hear that, like iron is a sign of civilization. And I'm hearing all of these different types of nails in the ground, and I'm like, there's got to be something here. And what did I have in my bag? I had all sorts of different coils. I had the high frequency coil, which if you're in iron, there is nothing better. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm the Deus 2 rep. I wholeheartedly believe that. I'm also the guy that bought 23 detectors, and it got me to this informed decision. And now I talk to the XP engineers, and they tell me all of their secrets. Now I know their secrets. So I put on that HF coil. You give up a little bit of depth. It still gets you down 8, maybe even 9 inches. But anything within that range, it's going to separate like crazy. It is so good at that. I used the 9-inch coil. I used the 11. I didn't break out the 13. I got that old lantern that was like about 18 inches down in the ground. That was one of the deepest signals that I've pulled in dirt, and that was with the 9-inch coil. It's just a matter. The signature of the ground is a big thing, and that's what I'm really tuning into now. It didn't help us on that day in the beach. That sure was a good spot, and I believe it'll give up treasure again in the future. But like, I'm really starting to tune into the sounds of the ground. Sometimes I could really go ADHD and get super distracted with that, while other people are in other sections of the park pulling up stuff. So you have to swing over it. There's no, like, I'm a super detectorist. You have to swing over it. You have to dig it. But what I like about, and this is coming from XP's founder, he's all about fast. Everybody's like slow and low, slow and low, slow and low. Low? Yes. You want to be low. Do you want to be slow? Probably not. And, I get it. Like, you have to match the recovery speed with the machine and how you have it set. But, for the most part, if you outdig the people around you, you're going to do better than them. You might dig a heck of a lot of trash. That happens to me. But it's all about recovery, because you could infer what's in the ground, but you don't know what it is until you actually pull it out of the ground. There's been several signals that I have thought are aluminum foil. It turns out to be a nice piece of gold. You just want to dig it. And, I've done on my channel all of these target ID Bibles where I essentially ring it up on different detectors. And if nothing else, that proves you could get treasure at any number. So anybody that has like a coin program in their machine, I'm like, that's adorable. You got a coin program. And I get it, because, sometimes you want to isolate, but I don't really, I really wholeheartedly believe you could get treasure at any number. There's certain signals I don't dig, but I think that worldview has really helped me a lot.
Yeah, well, Merrill, first of all, Merrill, you're way too humble. Merrill's digging compared to mine, to a kid with drawing with Crayola crayons and Merrill being Rembrandt, right? You can actually see, like, or hear the motors turning in his brain. Forget the coil when he's going over different areas. It's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal to watch. And the other thing that I'll say that I learned the hard way, I don't care if you train for a triathlon, keeping up with Merrill in the volume of digging that he does, more so on the beach than the woods, I noticed, man. He is the craftsmanship of the scoop and how quick he's able to work that sand. And like, for 20 minutes, I just sat down and watched him, because that's how exhausted I was just trying to keep up.
Tonight, thank you. Tonight, when I go detecting, I have no doubt in my mind I will dig over 100 signals. I also have no doubt in my mind that maybe 90 of them will be junk. And I'll take that chance every time. And really, it's a game of numbers. You have to dig those numbers, and you have to be satisfied. Like, if it is a piece of junk, so be it. At least you tried. But the best diggers that I've seen, they're all fast. They're all really fast. So there's a certain amount of, and this is what I've been trying to get, like, dedicated back into. I started, I guess, in my late 30s, and you just hit this thing when you're in your 40s. I'm going to be 48 later this year. But I'm trying to get back into the shape that I was, because recovery is the most important thing. You can infer with the sound, but if you get too cute with it, you're going to miss some good targets. It's about efficiently recovering, getting it centered under the coil, digging in the right spot. I'm a believer in volume digging. Anybody who says, like, oh, I know that this is going to be a piece of silver. Oh, really? That's adorable, because I've tested it. Silver could ring up extremely, extremely low if it's a chain, it's individual links of the chain, or it could ring up extremely high. It is the most conductive metal. So, there's nobody that could hear silver. Nobody. You just have to get it out of the ground. And, I've heard people try to come across impressive, but it's a volume game. Sorry, that's what it is.
Merrill, speaking of beach, did you want to? So we did a short very short synopsis or overview of a tool that is probably coming out in the next week. We did that last week, called Beach Cut.
Yes.
Merrill had literally called me every day and said, I have an idea that I think our beach detectors would absolutely love. And despite me saying, Merrill, I need to sleep, he insisted that we end up working on it together and collaborating. Of course, Merrill doing all of the technical analysis, and then just telling me what his vision was for it. And that's just about ready. So Merrill, for the beach detectorists that are on the show here, do you want to quickly talk about the impetus for creating Beach Cut and why it's so revolutionary compared to anything else?
Yes. The first thing that I'll say is we're both committed to excellence with this. I think that it is an extremely formidable program already. I'm not just talking about beach, I'm talking about Subterrix. Your expectations right now, I realize we're probably all watching this on the phone. Nobody does TikTok on the computer. But if you have a computer, and I understand that's an if nowadays, you should go to subterrix.com right now, and you should sign up for a free account. And the reason being, you get 20 credits per month. We believe in the platform, and you wouldn't let somebody try it if you didn't believe it. You could try all of the tools on the platform, I believe, with the exception of Gold, which I don't think has formally been released yet. Anyway, right. And Beach still is in, we're still working on this. But I mean, just to summarize Beach, if you get to a low beach, if you get to a beach after an event, that's what, beach is all about timing. Right now, I'm on the Gulf Coast of Florida, and you don't really have the same wave energy as you do on the Atlantic coast of Florida. And, what do waves do? Well, waves are powered by wind, and wind moves water, water moves sand, as I like to say. When there is beach erosion, when there is a big cut in the beach, the heavier objects drop. You want to be down to that layer where there are sinkers from fishing, those powder-colored sinkers that have been there for a long time, not the gray ones that are brand new drops, but the heavier ones. When I see heavy objects in the sand, I will stick to that area in the same way that when we dug the other day, I stuck to that area because I heard the iron. What our tool will do is it will cue you in as to when your beach is cutting. And we have buoy data that measures the energy of the waves.
Live buoy data.
Yeah.
Live buoy data.
Yeah, live buoy data, right. That measures when the energy of the waves, and it predicts when the beach is cutting and when you should get there and which beach. So it is going to be the new standard. We realize that, as of today, we don't have an app. Believe me, in some shape or form, that is coming in the future. But I'm telling you right now, get the advantage early. Beach is not out yet, but we're talking about a matter of days, months. I don't want to rush you, Ryan.
No, Merrill, it's fine. It's ready. The one thing holding it back is what I want to be able to do, guys, is I want to be able to have users set their notifications up so that if a beach is cutting and there is an alert, that it will automatically text their phone and identify, hey, Jones Beach is cutting. The best or most ideal time is going to be from 9 p.m. to 2 p.m. tomorrow, right? And allow our users to get up to 3 locations. Ooh, I look good as a cowboy. 3 locations as part of their elite membership. So once that configuration is done, we will release Beach Cut. It's effectively all built. It's just the notifications part and complying with FCC rules that we're just back testing. The last thing I want to do is Andrew, above and beyond the texting that I do already and annoy you, I don't want it to accidentally text you at 3 o'clock in the morning and get you in trouble with your missus.
That's all right. Send it, buddy.
So a couple days at most, according to our chief developer. But yeah, that's going to be a good one for those that like detecting on the beach. That's not me. Not that I don't like it, but I'm a guy that runs expedition plans and LiDAR all day long. That's my jam.
Hey, Ron, I'm going to answer you a good question right now, buddy, because that right there, that is the answer of the night. Is going to be subterrix.com. Okay, subterrix.com. Head in there.
Let me let you finish, and then I'll say it. Go ahead. Sorry.
You can jump in there, create an account. You'll get 20 free credits. If you're feeling super spontaneous, you can go ahead and sign up for an elite. Try it out first. It won't let you down. Your mind will be blown. Jump on there, sign up for an elite. That gives you what, 300 now? 300 credits?
So it's 300 if you're doing elite monthly, and that's per month, 300 credits, and 350 if you do elite annual, right? Those credits replenish each and every month. And just to kind of give everyone an idea, we have a universal credit system. So every tool that we have will pull between 1 and 5 credits. If you're using all 300 credits every month, you got a problem.
Yeah.
it's a lot.
So,
it's a lot. I test a ton and I still don't blow through 300 credits.
No, I think the most I've used so far now is, I think I burned through like 28 credits or something like that. And it was just constantly going through different sites that I've already dug just because I was curious, Ron. So the credits, what you use those for is the different tools in Subterrix itself. So there is the tools you use, they'll use like 1 credit or 2. I think there's a few that use 3. Excuse me. And you use those for whatever tool you're going to end up using. There is some of them on there that are free, that don't require you to use credits. But seriously, you start going down that rabbit hole, and as any of us are as detectorists, right? We're already at that point that we're doing research. So at that point of already doing the research, you start getting hooked into the stuff that's free on there, and you want to know more. There's like, you get so in tune with it, you're like, oh my goodness, this is incredible, da-da-da-da-da. So you end up using another tool which just expands that option that you were already running open way more. It's an amazing tool. It's constantly changing, and what I'm looking at, maps, LiDAR, topos, geographical maps, okay, all of that. All of what you just said.
All of that and more. There's 77 million data points that we're connected to, over 200 APIs. We have over 330,000 lines of code. Just to kind of give everyone an idea, the average website has about 1,500 lines of code. We have about 330,000 lines of code. We are connected to every public and private data point that you can possibly think of. We've got over 1 million historical maps, over 140,000 topo maps, over 45,000 shipwreck data points for our Fathom tool, tons of free tools, and I think, Andrew, you nailed it. Don't start off with an elite level membership. Sign up for free. We don't even ask for a credit card when you sign up for a free account. You'll get allocated 20 credits each and every month. Those will reset, and you can stay a free user for the rest of your natural life. That will get you through a good amount, right? So most of our tools are between 1 and 3 credits. I think we have one tool that's 5 credits. But use the tools that you believe as you see fit. However, once you realize the depth and the capacity and capability of what those tools are able to do, you're probably going to want more. The beneficial part though is that you're never really going to have to run the same tool twice on the same area, because we have a dashboard where all of your prior scans are saved, so that you can always refer back to it without using any additional credits. So very happy to host you on the site. And if you're interested, being that Andrew has been a friend of mine and an advocate for a long time now, if you do register, I am happy to personally deposit an additional 100 credits in everyone's account that signs up, right? All you need to do, I'm going to give everyone my email address before we sign off here. If you sign up, just let me know that you created a sign-in, and I'll manually deposit 100 credits into everyone's account. So you'll have 120 credits, and then every month thereafter, it'll be 20 following that.
Very important point. This is the TikTok audience, so I'm guessing a lot of you are on the phones right now. Most of you are on the phones. Don't go. We want you to go to Subterrix. Yes, we do. Don't do it on the phone, though. And yeah, for the simple reason, it will not be representative of what we bring, which is groundbreaking right now.
No.
On a computer, that's where you got to go. And it's alarming. Some people have said to me, well, I don't have a computer right now. We had a few people say, like, I bought a computer just for Subterrix, which we were honored by. But
That's awesome.
Everything is going touchscreen right now. We will get to the app. We are being very ambitious with this. But as of tonight, because I'm looking at the numbers, we have a lot of people on the site right now. I'm probably coming from this audience. Make sure that you do it on the computer.
Yeah, the website is way too powerful for mobile web, just based on the connectivity that we have and the number of connection points. The way in which it's configured is just way too sophisticated, even for Edge or Chrome on mobile web browser. So we do ask that you do it exclusively on a desktop or laptop, not even on an iPad, because it's not the same. Merrill and I, without disclosing any details, Merrill and I can confirm that by the end of this year, we will have an incredible announcement to make about taking our tools and very likely having access to, I won't say what it is, but something that most of you already are familiar with, where we will have all of the data points, right? Any points of interest, any pin, have bi-directional between us and an app. I'll leave it there, but we're working feverishly to complete that negotiation. So more to come there, but in the meantime, please just use a laptop or a desktop. You will get the full experience, and it's pretty amazing once you get a hang of it.
Yep. I saw a lot of people asking about like people not being beach detectorists. I saw some of the comments when I was talking about the beach. We have more stuff for non-beach detectorists.
Oh yeah.
We have an incredible amount of programs that are there, there's something for everybody. The one that I suggest that you start with, and Ryan, it hurt my soul when you said that this is like our least powerful program. I think it's incredibly powerful. Explorer. Everybody starts with Explorer. And one of the reasons that anybody should go to Explorer is because of the topographical maps, like across the nation. Some go back well into the 1800s, and you could take an overlay of current day and compare it and see what was there. For 10 states, we have by far the oldest historic aerials in there. New York City is one of the areas that has that. We're going to be adding more to that. But right now, 10 states, like for instance, New York, we could go back to 1924, and there were balloon surveys. Depending upon the date that your state did that, you'll be able to even get aerial photography looking back, and that really helps you with research. Our LiDAR is second to none. That's something that will help you immensely. And, our program is an AI program. let the AI help you and point you to the regions where you should look and detect. That's the whole point of having 77 million data points, so that it could be an informed decision. Does it guarantee you treasure? No, it doesn't. Somebody could have gotten there before you, and also the ground could have been altered. All of these parks in New York that I've spent years researching, you see that fill dirt that has been added in, the stuff with the rocks that stops puddles from forming. And it's not all of the parks, there's still some good ones, but it makes a difference. My point is, like, you'll get an informed decision from Subterrix. Doesn't guarantee you treasure, but it gives you a more powerful inference than if you just randomly said, I'm going to try this park or that park.
Yeah.
And it's easy and it's quick.
Right.
Merrill, there's a couple points of distinction that I just want to make for those that are more familiar with the way that technology works. First of all, what's important that I want everyone to know, and Andrew, you and I talked about this when we first started, because I think you had pointed it out. We have a zero tolerance policy on AI hallucination. We spend an incredible amount of money, time, and resources making sure that our filtration system, in the event that there's no data, right, a historical site, a military skirmish, to return to our users, that AI does not make up anything and send our users on a wild goose chase. We learned that the hard way. We spend just a great deal of money making sure that the filtration system continuously works. So anything that it's going to report to you is documented somewhere, right? There are certain circumstances where, depending upon what the historical value is, we have a logic system that does allow for inference. But zero hallucination, meaning that if there's no history there, it's not going to tell you that there is. Part of that is due to the fact that AI in its native creation was actually born to please its master and to deliver results. So we have to be very careful on the way in which we're reporting our technology. So there is a zero hallucination policy on it. At the same time, what people don't realize is that most of the AI that we're using, more or less, is to create additional creative ways that we access information, right? It's not necessarily getting the information and returning those values to our users. It's when you're hitting a dead end, being able to tap into multiple platforms and have an immediate search across 50 different information pipes to then stitch back together and report back to our users what it's looking for. So that's incredibly important. Merrill loves our Explorer tool, which I like the tool, but it's kind of like the Subterrix 101. We've got a ton of layers available.
It's named after
What I personally like for new users is an expedition plan, right? So you go to Expedition Planner, you type in an address or you drop a pin, you identify what it is that you're looking for, you wait about a minute and a half for there to be a configuration, and what the technology is going to do is it's going to report back to you any valuable historical data or information on homesteads, structures, military skirmishes, historic points of interest or relevant sites, and it's going to give you details as to why it's suggesting for you to check that area out. You then have the ability to simply scan a QR code, and that will open up Google Maps. You save that location so that when you are on site, you can simply use your phone as a compass to get to that latitude, longitude, or that point of interest. So if I'm you and I'm a new user of Subterrix, sure, try the Explorer tool, and there's great overlays that we have there. But if you really want to start seeing some of the power behind the artificial intelligence and the connectivity that we have to hundreds and thousands of platforms, the Expedition Planner is probably the most powerful from the perspective of getting you information as to whether or not a location is worthy of you to dig.
Right.
Merrill, do you want to talk? You want to talk just quickly about which I think the listeners here would be interested in is Deep Strike.
Yeah. So Deep Strike is the app. Hold on one second. Well, can you tell the whole name of it?
Deep Strike by Merrill, as a matter of fact, is what it's called. Yes.
It's actually got my signature on it.
It does.
So, Deep Strike is it's the backwards version of Expedition Planner.
Correct.
Where, let's say, I like to think of it as, let's say that you're visiting a city. Okay, so you're taking a trip, say to Cleveland, Ohio, and you're just like, okay, where do I begin? Well, you place a button, or you say where, you take the location that you're at, and you click on it, and it's going to give you the best stuff within a 10-mile radius that you could possibly dig. So it gives you ideas, it tells you the rationale, it gives it scores as for why this would be a good place. And, it gives you a better inference on where to dig. And if you want to go deeper with it, it's a great starting tool. Like I see it as like a big picture global tool that could lead you to some of the finer tools. Like I think of our LiDAR, iLiDAR, as, one of the tools that you were just like, you're moving around grains of sand, whereas, or a small section of the beach. Whereas Deep Strike is like more of the complete beach. You could tell my mind is on the beach. I'm excited to go to tech.
Yeah. So Merrill, I'll take it one step further. So Expedition Planner is going to tell you what points of interest are at a location when you have one, right? So you want to go dig in a beat, you want to go dig in a field. You run the search. It's going to tell you, hey, there was a known Revolutionary War skirmish at this particular point. The latitude, longitude is here. Here's what's known about it. But we've had users come back to us and say, hey, the Expedition Planner is a great tool when I have a location that I know I might be interested in, but I don't always have one. So what we've done with Deep Strike is we've turned that on its head. And when you're doing a search, what it's going to do is it's going to do all that analysis, all of the historical difference, and then it's going to come back and tell you, these are the top 25 places to metal detect based on topographical, LiDAR, history, known military inferences, distance to other structural and historical sites, and then it gives you the opportunity to do some additional research. So it's really a discovery tool. If you're permissioned out or you don't know where to go anymore, run a Deep Strike, even in your own zip code, and there's probably going to be 15 or 20 places that you had absolutely no idea as to what might be the best from a data perspective that is probably around the block from where you are. That's really Deep Strike. And it's one of my favorite tools that I use when I want to find a new location. So,
yeah, I used Deep Strike on one of the sites that was up the road from me, which ended up turning out to be really cool to the point that I went back there because I was like, there's got to be more stuff here, right? And then one of my favorites is your guys' LiDAR. It's LiDAR. Like your guys' LiDAR is LiDAR, but like absolutely enhanced. To the point now where I'll use some of my maps and stuff from the 1850s, and I'll use LiDAR on. I'll check it out just where the field is, just so I can see where the raised area in the field is, and be like, okay, well now I don't have to search around like a crazy person out here in this field trying to find where the house might have been. It's right there.
Yeah, well, the whole purpose of iLiDAR, and by the way, the reason why it's so great, Andrew, is because our chief developer worked for the Army Corps of Engineering, and he develops code that allows Army bases to connect with portable missile silos. So as the Army and the military and other agencies release their either patent on technology or their classification on coding, he's aware of it first. And what we're able to do is we're able to just clarify it just way better than anybody else. Most LiDAR that's out there, even ones that you pay for, only will get you about 25 meters above the ground before it gets grainy and pixelated. Our LiDAR naturally will go down to about 5 meters before that happens. And we have a layer for our elite members called not deep scan. Merrill, what is it called?
Hold on.
Putting you on the spot.
You know, memory is not my thing. I had this one-liner. I was going to say.
It's not mine either. Either way, there's a scan that you can do as a secondary scan, which will get you clarity down to 1 meter from ground surface, and it really has amazing detail. But on top of that, the whole purpose of creating iLiDAR was not to deliver a better tool.
It's called the high-res scan.
High-res scan, thank you. The purpose of
I'll quickly add, like, listen, if I could summarize our LiDAR in one sentence, you could see the worms having babies.
That's a significant claim, Merrill. I don't know if we could back that up. Here is why most people like it outside of the clarity. 99% of people, unless they study LiDAR, they have no idea what they're looking at, despite the fact that it looks really cool, right? For our elite members, we have what's called terrain scan. And this is really where artificial intelligence comes into application here. The technology is smart enough to be able to scan the terrain and identify anomalies in the ground that the human eye doesn't pick up if it's not trained. And what we do is we essentially bleed the ground and identify those areas for you. And we're picking up those areas and we're saying, hey, Andrew, based on the analysis that we've done in the location that you scanned, here are 3 points of interest that have the highest degree of likelihood to be a cellar hole, a root cellar, or man-made, which no longer exists above the surface anymore, right? Subterrix. So the iLiDAR has become really popular because not only is it, and forgive me for saying this, dummy proof, but it also has a much better analytical eye than the human eye, and it's going to pick up much greater and smaller anomalies than even the most experienced analyst that knows LiDAR would. So it really is intended to just enhance the opportunity zone for, right? So Merrill loves iLiDAR. Clearly, that's the case. But by the way, it's totally free, right? It is part of the the 20 credits, right? So you can do a LiDAR scan, I think 10 times before you blow through all 20 credits each month. Yep. Just use them wisely. I would be remiss though if I didn't bring up the fact that one of the most important missions that we have as far as efficacy is concerned is not making money. It's about being good stewards in the space. And two really near and dear initiatives that we're running right now. First and foremost is our G2 program. Okay, G2 is just an inference or an acronym for the next generation, right? And as everyone here knows, this industry has a gray hair problem, right? I'm 47 and I'm the youngest member of my metal detecting club probably by 10 years. Wow. And we've had a pretty significant issue bringing next generation detectorists into the hobby. So our G2 program gives detectorists, emerging detectorists, if you're between the ages of 13 and 25, the ability to use Subterrix completely for free. No questions asked, no real limitations, no credit card required. If they are under 18, they will need a parent to sign off on it. There's an entire workflow that we have, but we want to encourage detectorists, right? Kids that have their phone in the hands and are connected to computers and can run circles around us, a better experience in doing metal detecting and to apply the research and analytical part, right? But then on top of that, above and beyond the G2, we also believe that we have to be good stewards in this industry and reward those that put their lives at risk. And as a result of who is now our director of ambassadorship, Josh Sipes, who is a military veteran and a combat hero, we also created Base Camp. So Base Camp is our program for veterans, whether you're still in service or retired. If you served, doesn't matter if you're active duty, saw combat, or are in the reserves, you get a free Subterrix account. We deposit 100 credits in every single month. We don't connect a credit card. We have no interest in that. It's just our way of rewarding our veterans. And I'm happy to say that in less than a month and a half, we have about 175 veterans using Subterrix on a daily basis. So yes, Subterrix is a business, but we also want to be good stewards in the industry and contribute back any way that we can. And that's important.
I definitely love that. I remember getting reached out to about that from oh my goodness, what was his name again? I forgot already.
Josh?
Yeah, from Josh about the military program, which was, I thought I was completely on board that. Being a vet, that's huge. And that's what's nice too is even out here, like there's a veteran program, and that was one of the things that they had said to us a couple weeks ago was the fact that we need more younger veterans to start taking advantage of some of the resources and the things around us to be able to do, because a lot of the older generation veterans were the ones taking advantage of it. It's kind of a lot harder for them to go skydiving nowadays, right? It's the same thing with the hobby. This hobby is a lot of our older generation. I'm coming in at 35. I'm one of the youngest detectorists that I know that does this. Despite I do know there's a couple of big namers on here like Emily that metal detects and Jay. They're not interested in that kind of stuff. They're interested in the equipment that they're holding on their hands and playing games with. So that's huge, the veterans and getting the younger generation in here. Jay is more mature. Emily goes without saying. Yeah.
You know what it is, Andrew? It's an investment that we're happy to make. It's not cheap for us, right? But we're happy to do it. And despite the fact that, so I think we have just over 1,750 users right now.
Yeah.
Nice. That hit 1,800.
Okay, so it's about 10%. It's about 10%. 10% on the vet side. It's not cheap, but it is worthy, and it is a worthy cause. And man, I'm very grateful for those that put their lives at risk for the country, so that businesses like Subterrix can exist, right? And there's nothing that I wouldn't do. So we're always exploring different vehicles. We're talking right now about a discount program for first responders, right? EMS, fire, police. Although we try and make it incredibly affordable, it's important though that any business give back to the community. Look what it's done for us. We've gone literally from 0 users to just about 1,800 in less than a few months. We're this past issue of American Digger magazine, we have a 4-page spread that they covered. Literally, it's like the centerfold. Last week, Merrill, Josh, and I were on Quarter Hoarder, right? It's been an incredible journey, and there's so much more to do. I can't imagine not giving back to the community. And quite frankly, some of my best friends have come from this industry, and it's being, giving back is part of being successful, and I love that part of it. I will tell you also what I love, though, is I love ruffling feathers, right? Because there's so much that we're doing now that's disruptive, right? And there's always two camps whenever someone is innovating, right? There's a camp that says we absolutely love what you're doing, and what you're doing is really innovative and groundbreaking, and we love it, and you can't do wrong. And then there's another camp that feels the polar opposite. We hate this. This is the worst thing to ever happen to metal detecting. I hate technology. You're going to kill permissions. We're somewhere in between. And when you're in between those that love you and hate you, that's when you know that you're actually doing something meaningful. Our intent is good, right? But our intent is also not to replace skill. It's to complement it. If you're old school and you love using maps and that's your thing, awesome. Use it. Don't leverage the technology. But if you want to potentially create an opportunity zone for yourself and access information either that you'd never find or that you'd have to spend countless hours trying to do research and due diligence, Subterrix is what it's for. And it was built out of pure frustration that the industry has come light years from a technological perspective on the detectors, right? Look at what XP has done. Look at MindLab. Look at all the other technologies that are out there. But when it comes time to research, analytics, maps, topo, aerials, it's been stuck in the Stone Ages. So that's really was kind of the brainchild for what we've built and what we're continuing to build. Merrill, why don't you talk about some of our plans before we wrap up here, as far as where we're headed and kind of what we're working on?
Absolutely. I want to take a minute quickly because this happened over the course of the show. They might be here or they might not be here, but John Tibbetts Jr. just joined. Thank you. Loretta Lawrence just joined. Thank you. Kim Sears just joined. Thank you. So for anybody who's just joining, it is a Universiva program. Make sure that you start out on the computer. It's really the only option as of right now. And I'll transition from that to talking about the future. We want to go global with this. I think the thing that I'm proudest of with Subterrix is it creates opportunity. We all get into habits with how we do things, and really, I'm a teacher. We grow when we try things that are brand new. And what Subterrix brings to the table is a new set of tools, or at the very least puts all of the tools in one place and perhaps improves them a bit. And for me, using it's enlightened me as to where to detect. It made me aware. There was this area that is just like walking distance from my house that I never thought about going to. And, you can laugh if you're not a detectorist. We're excited about our buttons. I got the coolest button just blocks away from my house, public space that I just never thought to detect at. And that's what it's really about. We want to go global with this. We want to see how far that we could push this. I'm somebody who has a lot of connections in the industry, and we want to use those connections. We have a lot of people aware, a lot of people busting down our doors to just like say, hey, how can this fit with us? The growth over the last month has been within a small community. Has been pretty astronomical. I mean, we're at 1,800, but if you're talking about a month and a half ago, you're talking about less than 300. So, it's really somebody hit the fast forward button. And, the size of the metal detecting community, we're tiny. I would estimate in America active metal detectorists maybe about 60,000 to 100,000. That's an estimate. We want there to be more. There's something spiritual about digging holes. Ryan was saying about how it's his zen. He has a corporate job. For me, I got into metal detecting. I had a 2.5-hour commute per direction, commuting to a school that I used to work at for more than 20 years. And instead of getting mad at traffic, like I would pull over on the side of the road, I would wait for all of the traffic to clear up, and I would just dig holes. And it was beautiful. It was spiritual. And you get mad at people who are just like tailgating you, honking at you. New York traffic is rough. Instead, it made my day better. That's what metal detecting does to me. I don't claim to be like everybody else, but there are people that are wired like me out there, and or weird like me out there, however you want to put it. And this is something that pushes it along and takes it to a higher level. It takes your research to a higher level. And I'm really proud to be a part of that. But the plan is within the next year, at the very least, we want to be able to set foot in Canada. Ryan, that's up to you. You're the one that's doing the coding on this masterpiece. So I think at the very least, Canada, and we're looking at Europe also. But really, it's about getting something that we can replicate and just plug in to other areas of the world. So in essence, we're doing the tough work, we're doing the exhausting work right now. And, I'm contributing a little bit of the theory to it. Ryan and, our other partner, who's a brilliant coder who, works for U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, is doing, the heavy lifting. But we want this to be groundbreaking. We want this to be different and beneficial. And I think that it is every day. And I look at the data. In addition to being a teacher, I was a director of data, so a data scientist. Every day we're seeing the numbers move up, increase. You know what I mean? So I feel that we're doing something right. We're definitely getting people to come back. And to me, that says that it works.
Yeah. So hold on, Meryl. Let me jump in there and just say something which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
The average person that comes to our website, right? I think the national average in website visit attention span is about 28 seconds, right? Before they click out. Our average is over 470 seconds. So the amount of time that they're spending poking around is quintuple the average. And for a tech company, the conversion rate that we have of people that start with a free account and move up to an elite account within the first 2 weeks is also quintuple the average. Usually software companies have about a 4% conversion rate. We're pretty close to 20% of conversions, at least within the first 2 weeks. And as time goes on, sometimes that has peaks and valleys. But that's because there's just so much there, right? So the interest is moving to Canada. We have a lot of visitors from Canada, and it's basically just picking up the chassis that we built here, right? The chassis is the hard part. Putting it down into another country and reconnecting all of the wires, right? It kind of reminds me of when I need to move my dad's, stereo and TV from one room to another. It's just kind of plugging them in and making, testing all the buttons. That's really the goal. But we need to be mindful and respectful of law, right? We need to make sure that we understand, for example, the stuff that no one really cares about as a user, like tax. Right. The last thing I want to do is go on vacation and then, take my kids, into Montreal and then end up being arrested that I owe $100,000 in tax. So we have to just understand all of the facets in order to move to those areas. But I will say this: by far the most important attribute that we're continuously looking for is our user engagement. And what I mean by that is we can have the absolute best technology, we can have the absolute best tools, we can have the absolute best ideas, we can execute that better than anybody. However, the best ideas always come from those that are knee deep in metal detecting. Even those ideas that you might think are silly or stupid or annoying, we have a section that gives our users the opportunity to send in their ideas. Please don't stop doing that. And by the way, I hear everyone that signs up for an account literally gets my cell phone number. If there's an issue, a problem, a challenge, a concern, if something's not working, text me. I don't care how busy I get. I respond to emails all day long. Mostly they're compliments. We can't possibly know that a bug makes its way into the system, right? We act immediately on it. We try and kill that bug. And usually when we're trying to figure out how a bug made its way into the system, we're usually able to look at that and say, maybe now it's time to enhance this tool. We're able to work pretty quick. And that's almost exclusively due to the fact, and I was telling Bree this yesterday, I have about 70 agents working for me 24 hours a day. That's not humans somewhere in, Cambodia. These are technology agents, right? These are processors that are continuously monitoring, learning, fixing, and making things better that I've trained, so that when someone calls and says, hey, you know what, this report isn't showing up in my dashboard, it's literally a 2-second fix. I assign that agent to fix it. So please continue to send those in, because the more we hear from everyone, the good and the bad, the better we can make this. But the absolute best ideas come from our users. I never would have thought that we would have developed a tool that can identify shipwrecks that are close to shore, right? To be able to get the data of that shipwreck, to recreate what that ship looks like, to give history as far as how it sunk, why it sunk, how far it sunk from the shoreline, and then to decide, hey, is there a chance that some of that stuff makes its way to the shore, and can you detect it? That came from a viewer, right? So
the perfect question.
The best ideas come from those that use it.
So FLX Detectorist just wrote, I want a largie feature. Just show me where they are. Well, actually, so the Brecon tool, I saw her name in the audience too. So with the Brecon tool, you could actually see where the old houses are. You get a permission at the old houses. Let's see. Large Sense ended in the 1850s. Find an 1850 or before house, like through Subterrix, ask for the permission, or at the very least, look for parks in the area or wooded areas in the area. You've got over 1 million maps that you could look at, historical aerials, and also the topographical maps. Topos. So you got lots of tools to help you find large sense, if that's what you want to find.
I think one of my favorite features of the Brecon, which just got released, is, first off, it got brought up from your very own Metal Detectorist, is that it will literally, it'll break it down and show you those old houses, like you were saying, Meryl. And not only that, like you guys could have stopped right there with the coding, right? You could have just been like, all right, that's good enough. No, you guys took it a step further and came up with a program that will quite literally, for you people that are afraid to go up and knock on a door, it will give you a statement of what topics to talk about, or a really good starting point of being able to talk to this homeowner to allow you to detect their house.
Yeah.
Like that is just, it's, mind blowing. It's amazing. I think it's one of my favorite things. Because that's one of the biggest problems that most people have, right? Are going up to somebody's house that they have no idea who they are and asking them to go dig holes in their manicured yard, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's so I'm really grateful that Bree was willing to collaborate or shared that idea, and that we were able to bring that to life so quickly. So yes, it will give you kind of conversation starters, Andrew, and it's specific to that town, even specific to that house, right? Because that's what AI is good for. But it will also give you basic rebuttals, right? You'll also, even if it's a no, you can save that location and that will show on your own Explorer map where you can take notes and you can try again in the future. So everything is connected to everything that we do. And that's why, we try to make it this complete tool. As you stated, if you're doing a search for a specific location, you can literally use a slider, and as you go towards, the older houses, all of the newer houses will just disappear, and it will just leave the points of the houses that were built in that time frame. I give all the credit to Bree for the concept. It was a really fun build. There's probably going to be some more added to it. I wanted to make sure that this was available to be announced here, Andrew, quite frankly. So, and of course, we have Bree to thank for that, and she's just an awesome person, and I wanted to be able to deliver a tool that met those standards.
Absolutely, that's awesome. I appreciate it a lot, Ryan. And that's one thing I've always really appreciated with our friendship, anyways. Your door has always been open. You've always had that solid line of communication to be able to bounce ideas off of. I know it was like my first week, I think you and I started talking, and I was already, I'm having issues with this, and oh yeah, well, okay, let's solve this. And that's what's awesome is for somebody that is the head of a programming site or a site to be with, anyways, is you're a busy guy and you're able to still make sure that your users are being able to communicate with you with ideas or issues that they're having, or whatever might be going on. And then same thing with Merrill. Merrill's there. He's able to break down and give his advice. And then you got other users on there too that if you're new into detecting, can help you with your detector or a detector you might be interested in, and all that has stemmed from your idea, right? So that's what's awesome. It's huge. It definitely, it's like raising a kid, right? Back in the day, they always said it takes a community to raise a kid, and that's what you're doing with this site. It's like your child, and you're molding it to be the best thing it can.
Yeah. Well, look, I've been very lucky, Andrew, in my career, in the sense of accomplishing some pretty amazing things, and I've never really understood why, when you become successful, why people would prefer to stay kind of at the top in the ivory tower and not actually engage with staff and customers and things of that nature. And I've told Merrill before, if I ever start not wanting to engage with people and listen to their not just compliments, but their criticism, that it's time for me to step away from the role that I have. I didn't do anything special other than attempt to create a problem that I myself had, and that's really where every great idea kind of comes from. I actually, and I'll embarrass myself for a second, I have my snoring to thank for it, because back in November when this kind of was when I was brainstorming about it, it really just stemmed from my wife kicking me out of the bed and having to go into the basement where we have a full bedroom to go to sleep, and I couldn't shut my mind off, and I said, hey, I'm going detecting tomorrow, but it's really frustrating that I'm just taking a chance and randomly going to places that I have no data on, and that's really kind of where it all started. This would be nothing without its users, without the community, without people that have supported, and embraced the technology and the platform, and that have just been really good human beings and just really kind. It's interesting because I'm used to being able to walk in any room and kind of command, the room and to get any type of appointment I want. But when I came into metal detecting, my name was a nothing burger. So it was really awkward to kind of almost start off like a kid straight out of college where no one knows who you are. And Merrill's been able to bridge that gap greatly. Not only did I look up to him, but he's an incredible person, and people don't know that he's an incredible businessman as well. So I've really kind of stepped in, when we connected. And then lastly, I'll say, one of the things that I'm really proud of in bringing something new to the detecting community is actually something that launched today. And that's our coaching program, which Andrew, I'm thankful that you're a part of, right? So YouTube has really been my teacher for the last several years, and there's nothing wrong with it. And I'll credit our director of coaching, Mark Dayton, who's also known as Brass Medic, who's also a lovely guy and just been detecting for 40 plus years. Merrill, what do you refer to him as? He's
the Dos Equis guy.
This guy is a meteorite chaser, is a gold prospector. He's a scuba diver. He's an adventurous. He's a rock climber, a mountain biker, a metal detector. He's unbelievable. I can't believe he's just an unbelievable guy. But the concept of being able to connect with experienced detectorists, either as a newbie or someone that just wants to learn more or better about a detector, a specific type of detector, how someone goes about doing research, swing patterns, virtually anything that really hasn't existed. So we launched, and which is up, running and live today, is our coaching program. So anyone can go to Subterrix.com, find the coaching section. I think right now we've got about 25 coaches that are live, meaning that you can look at their profile and determine if you want to spend a half an hour or an hour with them to talk about any topic of metal detecting that you want to increase your skill set, right? They charge by the hour. It's fully automated. It's remote. It's autonomous, and it's really easy. So I wish that when I first started that someone like Merrill or, Brass Medic was available to talk to me about how to set my Equinox 900 settings and how do they go about analyzing a space when they first get on location. Well, you can do that now. You can go there, you can book time and get direct access with some of the best detectorists in the country. And it's all about you. It's all one-on-one. It has nothing to do with being taught how to use Subterrix. It has to do with learning how to increase your skill set to ultimately enjoy metal detecting more. So I'm really, really proud of that, and I hope that grows. But today is the official launch of Subterrix coaching, and I couldn't be more excited for it.
Yeah, I'm super pumped. So we've hit most of the big topics. I don't know. I saw a comment earlier about Merrill down there. He looks like he's starting to get a little shaky and stuff. He's like itching at the bit to go detecting. So
you saw me fanning my shirt because it is hot out here. Everybody else is watching soccer. The World Cup inside.
World Cup
out here. So yeah.
I absolutely love the program. Obviously, like I had touched bases on before, is I was excited to build the friendship with Ryan, and I remember back in the beginning him telling me that he's in the works for something huge. Someone's going to be joining the team, and I was like, okay, who's this going to be? And he's like, I kept bugging. I think I bugged you for about a week straight. Like, who is this person? Like, who are you partnering with? And then name drop, bam, Merrill shows up, right? And it's like, no freaking kidding. Like, you got Merrill, like as in the guy that goes out and tests all these machines. And he's like, yeah, like that's going to be the partner, So I was super excited when you told me that, and it's been awesome watching you two build this program. Obviously, the team that you guys have. Yeah, Subterrix is there's only one direction it's going to go. That's up or down in some terms, far as digging holes. So, I'm excited to see what else is going to get brought up to you guys, far as different viewers, users of the program. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see where it goes.
Yeah, we've so now that you mentioned it, and we debuted it last week, but we do have Pay Dirt coming up July 15th. We are launching by far the most technologically sophisticated gold prospecting tool out there. That's my baby. There's thousands of hours that went into it. It's absolutely unbelievable. Probably going to take a break following Pay Dirt's launch and just continue to perfect and address requests from users, and then we'll start expanding into or attempting to expand into other countries. And Andrew, you hit the nail on the head when you said that you were excited about Merrill joining. And I will say this: I'm not a very sentimental guy. And Merrill and I talk, I don't know how many times a day, Merrill, at least 10 times a day.
Not now.
the business part of it has been amazing as far as growth, certainly since Merrill came on board. That's all well and good. I knew that would end up happening. What I didn't know what would happen is how close Merrill and I have become personally. Yep. In such a short period of time. We found out that we've got a ton in common together.
We wore the same jersey number when we played baseball.
We wore the same jersey number. We were the same position.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. But the friendship to me and the camaraderie is amazing, and most importantly, the centralized focus on family and trust has been amazing. I couldn't have asked for a better partner to do this with, and we're working really hard to bring everyone the absolute best that we have to give. And we're just really grateful, not just to you guys, but to everyone that's even given it a shot. And we're going to continue working at just making it the best that it can be, and just being really good stewards in this community. So I appreciate you having us on, and I appreciate everyone listening. And Merrill, I'll expect a text from you in about an hour when you find your first ring.
Yeah, man, I just sent you some interesting data. So, but I'll go for the rings first.
Can I eat dinner first, Merrill? This guy doesn't let me rest. He's always working. He's sending me stuff. You get to work. He's like, he cracks the whip.
You're probably going to see like the vegetables as code at this point because of how hard you work at this.
I need a break. But seriously, guys, thank you so much for having us on.
Absolutely.
We're grateful for the opportunity, and grateful for the friendship and the support.
There's only one thing left I want to do, and that's I need to get out there and come out and detect with you guys, or have you guys come here. One of the two. It's gonna happen.
I honestly can't wait for that. Nothing would prevent me and Merrill from hopping in a car and taking a road trip together. You are all of you are more than welcome to come to us. We've got some great history here. Yeah. We're flying in. We were just talking about someone won the contest. I think when we hit 1,000. Yep. Users, right? We're flying in a winner and his friend from, I think, Ohio to New York to come dig with us. We're just working on the plans. So yeah, there's a lot happening, but we would love to get some fun time with you guys and do a dig.
Not far away, so it should be relatively easy, right?
Just say when and where, and we'll make it happen.
Absolutely. Well, Merrill, get out there on the beach. Go find us a ring. I want to see I want to hear 20 minutes from now that you found one.
You know I'm going to text you, Andrew, when he sends me his first ring. I'm going to send you a picture.
Perfect. I can't wait. So Meryl, have fun. Ryan, of course, as always, it was a pleasure getting with you. I absolutely love our talks. So I can't wait to start seeing some more videos of what's going to be happening. And yeah, we'll have to get together. Let's do some digging.
Well, grateful for the time. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks,
Absolutely. Thank you. You guys all have a great night. Thank you guys for all the likes and the comments, and get out there, use Subterrix and have fun. And then, go see what you find in the dirt from it. Have a good night, everybody.
Enjoy. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Good night.